Last night, Donald Trump took the bait that was out there, and the bait was in the form of Nikki Haley, the South Carolina governor, on Fox and Friends after she delivered the GOP rebuttal last night to the State of the Union. She used part of the opportunity to warn voters against following, quote, the siren call of the angriest voices in the country, which many perceive to have been, and she admitted it later, a veiled reference to the GOP billionaire's front-running status. He did not hold back this morning.
She's very weak on illegal immigration, and, you know, I've known that for a long time, but she's weak on illegal immigration, and she certainly has no trouble asking me for campaign contributions, because over the years she's asked me for a hell of a lot of money in campaign contributions. So, you know, it's sort of interesting to hear her. So, you know, perhaps if I weren't running, she'd be in my office asking me for money.
Okay. He's running for president, though. She isn't. So we bring in Ron Christie on the Republican side and Liz Chadderdon on the Democratic side. Strategist, both of you. But before we get to that, we've got this breaking news with a market that is extremely volatile. And as we tee up this unbelievable debate, because it is coming at exactly the time where Americans are fearful of a whole bunch of issues, Ron Christie, what is going to be the #1 subject people want to hear about?
Well, I think there are two things, Liz. Good afternoon. I think, one, people are very worried about the threat of terrorism here at home. But more importantly, they're looking at pocketbook issues. I was in Columbia, South Carolina last weekend. A lot of the people I talked to are worried about the state of their families' fortunes. Are they going to have enough finances? Are they going to have enough resources? You know, and I just have to say, looking earlier today in the mail and looking at my 401k statement, my balance has dropped. I think a lot of people are looking and saying, is my financial security there? So I think that's going to be on the minds of a lot of folks tomorrow night when they say, what are these Republicans going to do to right the ship and to help the market grow?
Ron, why did you open the envelope?
I should have left it alone, but my wife told me to open it.
Casey, one of our producers, said, I'll open the envelope by summertime. It's not funny, Liz. I mean, I think Ron's right on those two specific issues, but here we now have Donald Trump fighting with Nikki Haley, pushing on Ted Cruz. Let's just tackle the Nikki Haley issue for a moment. Isn't she sort of the beacon of what Republicans are aiming for, and that is a younger, female, conservative, but diverse demographic, and sort of, is it at his own peril, or is he smart? She kind of did it first.
Well, it's so interesting to watch the Trump versus everyone else continual circus, because one day he's taking on Cruz, one day he's taking on Jeb Bush, one day he's taking on Bobby Jindal, now he's taking on Nikki Haley. Next day it'll be Hillary and Bill Clinton yet again. I mean, it's really kind of fascinating. I will say that I was surprised, frankly, to hear Governor Haley call him out, if you will, in her speech, not because I disagreed with her, but because it was pretty interesting to hear the Republican response to the State of the Union include them saying a warning against, let's be honest, the Republican frontrunner. However, I actually think, going back to your earlier comment with Ron, the markets are unstable. Our country is potentially at risk from terrorism. Is this really what America wants to be looking at right now? Is Nikki Haley and Donald Trump jibing at each other over Twitter?
No,
it's not. It's not doing anybody any good.
Ron, and it's got to be disturbing to serious Republicans and Democrats who really want to hear about how we fix this. So as we head into this debate, are we going to have to be watching this battle between Ted Cruz and his citizenship and Donald Trump claiming that because Ted Cruz was born in Canada, and in a way it's sort of working in Iowa. There's a poll coming out of Iowa that shows that the lead has narrowed for Ted Cruz, and maybe it's because it's the first question he has to ask, and we media are doing that. I mean, in a way, we're at fault.
Well, in a way, but you know what, Liz? We have so many important issues to tackle in this country. We've got 96 million people who are out of work, who are out of the workforce. You have a 2% wage growth. We have static economic growth going on in this country. Why are we talking about citizenship issues? I thought we buried the birther issue. Republicans need to have serious plans, serious proposals to take to the American people to draw contrast with the other candidates on the stage tomorrow night. And talking about this nonsense is going to do nothing other than to get people to reach up for the remote control and say, click, I've had enough of this.
Well, because you opened your 401k envelope, you have a little bit of a problem now with the market. So Liz and I are saying just don't open the envelope. Liz, Ron, great to see both of you. A lot of breaking news. We appreciate you coming on a very busy day.